Hi, I'm Joe Crabtree, and in this lesson I'm going to show you a technique which you can use to solo and fill in any time signature and make it really easy. So here's an example of soloing in 1916 using this method. Okay, so the reason I chose 1916 to demonstrate this is that's something that would kind of seem scary to most drummers. It's not an easy time signature to play in. Granted, we don't often have to play in it, but if you feel like you have the knowledge and skill to play in 1916, then you probably feel like you also have the knowledge and skill to play in 7/8 or 4/4. And the tips and this kind of method that I'm going to share with you in this lesson, you can apply to any time signature. 7/8, 5/8, 25/16, 4/4, 3/4, literally any time signature. First of all, let me just explain for anybody who doesn't know what 1916 is, what that time signature means. When you have a time signature of 4/4, the top number is how many beats are in a bar, and the bottom number is the type of beat. So when I say the type of beat, a 4 would represent a quarter note, an 8 would represent an eighth note, and 16 would represent a 16th note. So if you have a time signature of 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom, that just means there are 4 quarter notes in a bar. If you have a time signature of 1916, it means there are 19 16th notes in a bar. What does that mean? It means that you play 19 16th notes and then the groove starts again. So 16 16th notes is the same length as 4 quarter notes because a quarter note is made up of 4 16th notes. So all we're doing for 1916 is adding 3 16th notes to the end of a bar of 4/4. So instead of 1 yana, 2 yana, 3 yana, 4 yana, 1 yana, 2 yana, 3 yana, 4 yana, we have 1 yana, 2 yana, 3 yana, 4 yana, 1 2 3 1 yana, 2 yana, 3 yana, 4 yana, 1 2 3 1. So you have those extra 3 notes at the end, and a 1916 groove can sound like this. So all I'm doing is playing that bar of 4/4 and then 3 16th notes on the end. Now there are different ways that you could divide up these 19 notes. You don't have to group them as 1 yana, 2 yana, 3 yana, 4 yana. You could group them in different ways. And that is where it gets tricky soloing and filling in 1916 is you need to keep track of where you are in the bar. So you need to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. And it's hard to do that and then start soloing because when you start thinking about the fills and the licks that you're playing, it's really easy to lose your count and just end up playing in the wrong place. So what I'm going to show you in the rest of this lesson is basically what seems like a cheating way because it's so easy to fill and solo in odd time signatures. So I'm going to call this the timetable method. I was trying to think of a metaphor. And basically, if you think of catching a train to somewhere, you want to get to this city at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, right? We want to land there at 1 o'clock. What do? You look at a timetable for the train, and you find your destination, and you find 1 o'clock, and then you work backwards from there, and you see that you need to leave home at 11:30 in the morning. So you know it takes an hour and a half to get from your home to that place. And you know that if you board the train at 11:30, you can sit down and you can watch an hour and a half of a movie. You don't need to focus on the stops that you're at or anything like that. You know that when that movie finishes, you're going to arrive at your destination. That's what we need for time signatures. We need a timetable that shows us where we start and then how long we've got before the 1 is. So that might sound a bit obscure, but let me show you and hopefully I'll clear it up. So the way we played, or the way I played that 1916 groove was to play a bar of 4/4, which is easy, which I know, and then 3 notes at the end. So my map, my timetable there was that if I start on beat 5, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 5, if I start on beat 5, I can play 3 notes and then I'm going to end up back on the 1. So all I was doing was playing the groove, and when I hit 5 I was going 1, 2, 3, and then I know that my right hand, if I go right, left, left, is going to hit the 1 of the next bar. So we're going to make a timetable for 1916 that shows us where we can start a 4-note fill. That would be the A of 4. So what I'm going to do is write a 4 in a circle underneath the A of 4, and that means if you start a fill on the A of 4, you've got 4 notes before the beginning of the next bar. So that means your fill could be right, left, and we could play that, for example, down the toms, right, left, and then the next note is going to be the start of the bar. So we'd have 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So all I'm thinking is starting my fill on the A of 4 and playing a 4-note sticking. So that was 1916. Now, the difficulty with this is that it's unusual starting a right-hand lead fill on the A of a beat. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and right, left. So the way I make that easier is to step the hi-hat on the and of 4 to give me a bit of space. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and then, so I'm going to go and a 5 E and right, left, crash. So they were all 4-beat fills starting on the A of 4, and they brought me back in at the beginning of the next bar of 19. So now what we have to do is expand our timetable. So if we work 2 notes back to the E of 4, that will give us 6 notes to reach our destination. So you could play 3 groups of 2, right, left, down the toms. So we're going to have 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Okay, so here's the thing. We're playing a backbeat on the 4, and then we're starting the fill on the E of 4. So we can have what sounds like a 7-note fill, which is going to be 4 E and a 5 E and 1. So 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or we could leave out the backbeat of 4 and start just on the E of 4. And again, if I'm going to do that, I like to step the hi-hat on 4 to help me. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what's important to realize here is that I am not counting the end of the bar of 1916. I'm just getting up to the E of 4 and then starting what I know is a 6-note fill, and then I can start again. So I'm getting on the train, I'm switching off, watching my movie, and then getting to the other end, and I know I'm going to arrive at 1 o'clock. So that's why this is so nice, is that you don't have to count underneath whatever you're filling in, you just have to know how many beats your fill is. So with 6 notes, we could also divide that into 2 groups of 3. So your fill starting on the E of 4 could be a right, left. So if I do this to the click,
1 E and
2 E and 3, 4, 5 E and 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to start on the E. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 5 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 5 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 5 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 5 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and.
Okay, so hopefully you're getting the idea by this point. Let's go back and start on the at of 3, and that will be 8 notes to get to our destination. So with 8 notes, you could play groups of 2 down the snare and the toms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So remember, we got to start on the at of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5.
So with 8 notes, we could play that as a paradiddle. So we could start a paradiddle on the at of 3, and that should bring us back to the 1. So 1 iana, 2 iana, 3 iana, 4 iana, 1 iana, 2 iana, 3 iana, 4 iana, 1, 2, 3, 1 iana, 2 iana, 3 iana, 4. Okay, so I could start a paradiddle on the at of 3, would get me to the 1, and I could play a paradiddle for beats 1 and 2. 1 iana, 2 iana, and then I'm going to leave 3 E and as a space, so we're going to have this groove now that's got a gap in the middle and just sounds interesting because this paradiddle starts in a weird place. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1, 2, 3,
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2.
And if you wanted to turn that into a full groove, you could just add a right, left sticking where I was leaving a gap.
1 and
2,
2 and
3,
and
4, 1, 2.
and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and.
So it sounds really crazy, and if you try and count while you're playing that, it will probably screw you up. But because we have this road mark and we know all we got to do is start on the at of 3 and play this paradiddle, we're going to land on the 1. It's really a nice way to work with this. And if you spend enough time working on each of these options and the different stickings, then you'll start to feel comfortable and you'll start to find that you can just solo in 1916 because you've become familiar with all these places to start and the stickings that you can apply. Now, I said that this wasn't just something that you could use in 1916. You can apply the same principle to 7/8, 5/8, 25/16, 4/4. So, for example, if you want to use this in 4/4, you just draw out your timetable and you say, if I want to play a 4-note fill, I have to start on beat 4. 1 iana, 2 iana, 3 iana, okay, we all know that. What about a 6-note fill? If we start on the and of 3, 1 iana, 2 iana, 3, that gives you a 6-note fill. So again, you don't need to think about the counting while you're playing the fill, you just need to know the start point and how long your fill is. Now that seems, okay, well that's easy, we can all do that. But what if you wanted to start a really long fill really early in the bar? What if we said, for example, that there are 15 notes from the E of 1 to the next start of the next bar? That means you could play 5 groups of 3 starting on the E. So if I just load up a regular 4/4 click, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 iana, 2 iana, 3 iana, 4 iana, 1 iana, 2 iana, 3 iana, 4 iana, 1. So it's 15 notes starting on the E. So that's how you can apply it in 4/4. So write out your own timetables for different time signatures and just start having fun with it. It's really good fun soloing in 1916 when you start to feel like you're on top of it. So if you enjoyed that lesson and you want to find more drum lessons like this, head over to joecrabtree.com. And if you want to check out the metronome that I was using to count the bars of 1916, you'll find out more information about that at polynome.net. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another lesson.